Hi everyone, we are now looking at osmosis in this third part of the video for vocab, especially for biology. And as you can see, I've already created the word because normally I find it really hard to fit it all into the camera. So I thought I'd just jump the gun a little bit. But do take the time to actually create the word. It is incredibly important in this process because you can often understand the concept using the clay and make it real for yourself, but we need to make sure we link that concept with the written word because this is what you're going to be coming across a lot more than the model when you are sitting in an exam or trying to articulate what you mean. So osmosis means spontaneous net movement of solvent molecules through a selectively permeable membrane from a less concentrated solution to a more concentrated solution. Whoa, that is some serious business. So let's get started. Spontaneous net movement of solvent. So this time it's different, of solvent. So let's use water as our solvent. Now, I know a little bit about osmosis, but I'm not a biology teacher, so if I get this wrong, please do tell me in the comments. But here we go. This is my understanding of osmosis. So over here, I have created 2 beakers. Please don't laugh at my beakers, I've tried very hard. So here are my 2 beakers for science, and they're both going to be filled with water. And this over here is a partially permeable membrane. So it's not fully open as it looks right now. I'm going to take a bit of clay and I'm going to, for my own visual representation, I'm going to just twist it. But you can do whatever you want. If you want to dot the line, you can do. If you want to create another shape, you can do. But this twisting of this rope shows me that it is partially permeable, so half permeable, not fully permeable. Partially permeable meaning for some solvent, for some things. It is permeable for some things. Here we go. And this is my partially permeable membrane between these 2 beakers. Now these beakers are full of water, but I also have in my first beaker, I have lots of, I'm going to call it salt. Let's just say there's lots of salt. Lots of salt in this one, less salt in this beaker. Very clearly we can see that. So because I have a partially permeable membrane, what will go through the membrane is the solvent, so is my water. The salt crystals, or the salt, even if it's dissolved, will not pass through the membrane because it's partially permeable. So if I look back at the definition, the spontaneous net movement of solvent molecules through a selectively permeable or partially permeable membrane from a less concentrated solution to a more concentrated solution. So my level of water, I'm going to show using another bit of clay. So where they might have started off equally, so here is my level of water, are equal, hopefully, for each beaker. The definition tells me that the water then travels from a less concentrated, so this is less concentrated solution, to a more concentrated solution. So the level of water in this beaker will drop because the level of water in this beaker goes up because the water is travelling that way. Essentially, from my understanding, the water is trying to equalise the concentration. It's trying to equalise the saltiness of the water. But if that's too confusing for you, ignore that. Essentially what's happening is the water concentration here drops because the water is travelling through the partially permeable membrane into this beaker here, into the more concentrated area. I think that's osmosis. That worked for me. And now whenever I read the word osmosis, I just see this picture in my mind really, really fast, and it makes it much easier for me to access that bit of text. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you like this series. and let me know if you want some more.